Wonderful. Yeah, so, last time we had Elysium at Sylvia Canto's haven in Tartarus. Not the mythological place, but rather the very real nightclub place, of which we are all very fond and familiar now. Yeah, I think it prescient to pick up functionally the next day. Not functionally, literally the next day. And by day, I mean night. Because I'm still getting used to the setting in some ways. So, it's time for everyone to wake up from their slumber. Folks with higher humanities, so Sal and Sister Constance, you're going to end up waking up just as the sun is basically finished setting.
Okay.
Basically, there's a little bit of a correlation between the higher your humanity, the earlier you get to wake up. And the lower your humanity, the harder it is to wake up each night until it is very much fully night.
Mm-hmm.
So you two will wake up a little bit earlier. Silas will probably be waking for the night just a little bit after that, and then Sylvia just a little after that. Can I ask everyone to make rouse checks for the evening?
Okay.
Yes.
How many
You remind me how to do that.
Just take a single d10, roll it. If it's a 6 or greater, you get hungrier. If it's not, you don't.
That's a
Or sorry, the opposite of that. If it's a 6 or
I
greater...
rolled a 10.
All right, Sylvia is not getting hungrier. The party is very satiating for you. And you literally drank someone dry last night, so you're at hunger 0 currently?
Well, it wasn't dry, probably, because they already were, like...
No,
does
but
it count if...
Yeah, so if you dealt the killing blow, there's definitely enough still there to slake at least a thirst. So you definitely satiated some hunger from that. What hunger were you at when that happened?
According to my sheet, I was... Oh, they're just completely gone. So...
Oh.
Oops. I had no hunger left.
Then let's say you're currently at... Because I think we started you at 1, and everyone failed their rouse checks at the beginning of last session.
I think, yeah.
So let's say if there were more there, it would have brought you down to 0, but there was just enough left to bring you down to 1. So you're still a little bit hungry. It's a bit of a tease, honestly, to drink to the full extent and still be hungry. That's a very odd. It's very unusual.
Okay, so I'm at what, 1?
Single hunger currently.
Okay.
I rolled a 7.
You rolled a 7. You do not get hungrier. Matt, you
I
rolled a 5, so you do get hungrier. And Sal.
I rolled an 8, so I'm good.
Right, so you're good. I believe everyone went to their respective havens at the end of last night. I don't think anyone stayed at Tartarus other than Sylvia.
Nope.
All right. Then it's the beginning of another evening. The sun sets, the moon rises, and the kindred of Chicago stir for another eventful evening on the town itself. As it is the beginning of the night, what is a fairly... What's the word I want to go with here? Fairly mundane thing for the Abbey. Abbey, right? Cathedral?
Basically. Convent. Church.
Convent. Let's go with convent. Is just taking in mail. And there is, at this point, this evening, a letter from Mother Superior to you specifically, Constance. And it's very short, very brief. It looks dictated rather than written.
Right.
It is typed with what is clearly a typewriter, and then signed with Mother Superior's very... it's not a particularly flowy signature or anything. It's very to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Is just informing you of her satisfaction thus far with establishing a convent in the Chicago area, and that as far as all of her contacts and reports from all of you have seen, it's been a very successful venture so far. And she mentions the further possibility of the venture that if it continues to go so well, and should it continue to go as planned, they will be sending an amount of their herd from the primary convent to the new implant in Chicago. So a number of humans that would have been thoroughly absorbed into the culture of Mother Superior's community.
Good news then.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes, this pleases Constance. I doubt she would have had time the evening before to send a report of that evening at the Elysium.
I'd say you could, if you wanted to. It may not have arrived.
Right, yeah.
But you certainly have time to write it and plant it for whatever ghouls the convent employs to get mail to its proper locations. Most things as far as kindred communications are done by courier,
Right.
not through the traditional United States
Mail
Postal
system.
Service.
Yeah, I doubted.
You don't generally want to put deeply incriminating evidence into
Absolutely
the governmental
fuck not. Yeah.
systems.
No. Do not trust these with mortal hands and eyes.
No. Also, traditionally, what may be tradition among most kindred communications, particularly with their sires and at such long distance, is simply to burn after reading.
Right.
Just pretty standard. Not everyone follows those rules. I mentioned that Brother John literally keeps a collection of all of his letters in a very date-organized fashion. But that's very standard protocol as far as, like, Camarilla-dictated communications protocols.
Constance is pretty much a stickler for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And is definitely not precious about, like, as much as she, likes hearing from Mother Superior, it's not exactly as if this message was fucking handwritten for her or whatever, so.
Sure.
She is wont to do whatever is prudent, which is
Mm-hmm.
most likely disposing of it.
Yeah. There's probably just like a little, I don't know, like a burn pile. I imagine this is something that happens fairly regularly, so there's just like sure, just a little fireplace. That is what I'm looking for.
One of those like little stoves or whatever.
Sure, yeah. Little wood burning stove. Excellent. Is there anything you intend to do this morning? What's your goal? Oh, what's everyone's is it ambitions? No, not ambitions. Short term. What are they called? Desires. We can kind of note that as everyone wakes up. What's your, as you kind of prepare for the morning, etc., or evening? I'll remember one day.
Topsy turvy, opposite
one
day.
Night. Do you have a desire for this evening?
What if
or rather this session? It's not like it's a player mechanical thing more than it is a character mechanical thing.
Right. I don't think it's too dissimilar from last time, though there's not necessarily like a specific event. I think she mostly just wants to take care of her regular duties for the day as far as the church is concerned, because they take care of the church.
Right.
B, maybe send a missive to Sylvia.
Sure. So
Keep
continue
touch.
ingratiating
Basically.
the clergy with the
Sending
with the
apologies for the night before
Sure,
and
yeah.
continuing to make it clear that she's available for whatever purpose Sylvia has in mind or need of.
Yeah.
It's
Excellent.
basically her job right now.
Wonderful. Good.
So simple, but
Yeah. You note that Brother John is significantly more quiet this morning, doing a lot
Fucking
more minding his
good.
own business. Currently. Pretty easy to note when walking around the convent as folks are starting to rouse for the evening. It looks like most folks have received identical letters.
Okay.
Or at least similar in appearance. I don't think you, unless you would like to, don't read them over someone else's shoulder.
I mean, no. Honestly, Constance is so upfront that she would just probably ask.
Yeah.
She'd be like, "That's from Mother Superior. What is it similar
Yes.
to?"
Just about how things are going and her satisfaction. And the that particular acolyte seems happy about that. They are pleased by the notion that Mother Superior is happy with them.
Wonderful. Nuns don't fist pump, but
I hated
she's
that.
tempted.
The only fist pump they share with is with God.
It's with the Lord.
Oh,
I fist pump
yeah.
for the Lord.
For the Lord.
Silly. All right, wonderful. Silas, you rouse a bit later, and you came back. I expect you got back to the bunker pretty close to sunrise.
Sounds about right.
So you probably didn't have a lot of time to speak with your mentor. By the way, does she have a name? I didn't catch one last time.
I believe it is Vanessa Longing.
Vanessa Longing. Good to know.
I will type. Okay.
It's a cool name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's in that's in session planning. My bad.
All right. Longacre.
I'm done eating, so I'll actually move closer to my microphone.
Let me bump you back down then. Just a little.
Before I scream into it.
Would not recommend.
Bass
The voice
boosted.
of God. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's sitting at the furniture you have here, and part of the reason most of the reason you initially decided on this location for both of your little hideout is because it is sunlight sealed for the day, which is something that is very important as a vampire, so you don't accidentally fall asleep in the middle of the street, or rather stray sunbeam grazes across your face while you're in slumber and just burns a horrible scar into your visage. Seemed like the most practical format, but the furniture inside is rather sparse, all things considered. So she's sitting at the table and has her trying to decide what kind of equipment. It's the Society of St. Leopold, so let's ask some questions as far as the technologies they use. Do they also do a lot of their communication by written missives and papers and couriers and things, or is it, or are they up with the technology?
I can't imagine they're not up with the technology.
Sure. Yeah, then she's just got a laptop. It's maybe a little
great.
chunkier than your normal laptop. This is very much like an in the field. If you've ever seen the kind of laptop on the right side of a cop car.
Oh yeah.
Just super basic keyboard and screen. Doesn't really use a mouse. It's entirely functional for doing things like databases. And looks like she's in kind of the middle of writing something and is a little stressed about it. She has a nervous tick of like tapping her foot repeatedly, very restless leg syndrome when she gets particularly stressed about things. And she notices that you're up now. It's just like, cool. You're alive. So last night went fine. Well, you're not. You know what I mean. So last night went fine, broadly speaking, right?
It went as well as it could have, maybe better.
Okay. What happened? What did you find out?
OOC.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. Does she? I thought she didn't know that I was a vampire.
I thought she super knew you were a vampire.
Oh, she's super new.
Yeah, because she sent you off the last time. She was telling you to be careful and stuff.
I thought I was playing that as if she didn't know.
I can't. So
Oh,
So that's why I was like,
funny.
that's
like,
a good
really
thing that we
awkward
should take
about
a
it.
second to establish. I
That's
Yeah.
have to imagine. So if you would like to attempt to maintain the idea that you have not been turned, in addition to rousing every morning, you're going to have to use your vampiric ability, Blush of Life, that makes you appear as though you are human, or else it's to the person who was training you to be a vampire hunter going to be really obvious.
yeah,
Like the if you are attempting to maintain the idea that you are not a kindred, then it is going to take an amount of effort, and we can absolutely go with that. But I just want to let you know ahead of time.
yeah. Both
Because
are so
you
good.
you have to.
You're in such a good double bind, regardless. It's so like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to hide the fact that you are kindred from, like,
From people trained.
yeah,
to
I think
spot kindred.
you would even have to have a different haven if that were the case, because there's no way that she sees you
wouldn't
lying
notice.
in dead sleep consistent every single night and doesn't go, "Oh, he's a vampire."
Yeah.
Because so when a vampire is in slumber, they are indistinguishable from a corpse. Like, their heart doesn't beat, it is impossible to wake them up. You can't, you literally, like, it's if anyone sees you sleeping, it's going to be really obvious. So if you want to maintain that, then the two of you cannot stay in the same place. Because I was very much working under the assumption, especially last session, that she knew, and as we talked kind of during character creation, that this is something that's very, very new. And, you know, she's obviously super nervous about it because she doesn't want to... She made the shocking decision to not murder you on the spot, and she's still kind of dealing with that.
Yeah. Okay, let's just keep it as is then.
Sure.
Because I think I'd like my character to live a little bit longer than 3 sessions.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
So
Speedrun vampire death.
yeah. All right, cool. So she is aware. All right. So in terms of answering, like, how did last night go, I can actually answer that question instead of hem and haw about it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was probably would say in that regard then would be something along the lines of like, it went much better than it should have.
Okay.
Also, did you know that there were like Catholic vampires?
Yeah.
So you just knew that.
I mean, every once in a while, right? But they're look, Night Stalkers come from everywhere. People don't get to pick when they get bitten, right?
I guess not.
Oh,
but
you mean
with,
practicing?
with the habit and everything.
You mean like clergy?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. That's a bit odd.
It's messed up,
Are
is
you
what
sure
it
it wasn't
is.
just like a club thing?
No, that shit was primo. That
They
was
didn't,
the
like-
real shit.
They didn't like kill a nun and take the habit?
I doubt it.
No?
I mean, potentially.
That seems like something a Night Stalker would do. Because they'll fuck
I'm
with you.
I'm fairly
Trying
certain
to get
she
into
was
your
a
brain
real nun.
space.
Here's the deal. I will look into that more.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be concerning. That's something we should probably know about.
And try and get locations and names
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. Because boy, that really threw me for a loop last night. Out of everything that was weird, which was most of it, that was, I think, hands down and above the rest.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Also,
what else?
Oh, I also am in the gang. I have to go see Sylvia today,
Oh,
soon.
okay. Who's that?
That is she runs this neighborhood, essentially.
Oh, okay. That's
the
the domain or whatever.
yeah, whatever the fuck they call it. I don't know.
Sure. I got a question. And she kind of like spins the laptop around and it's like half of a report. And she's just like, so, do we pretend you're dead or not?
Huh. I mean, in what capacity?
So like, I gotta write a report on all the stuff that's happened in the last week and get it off so they know what's going on. I'm not gonna tell them that you got turned and that I didn't. So
Yeah.
So we can pretend you're fine, right? Like everything's fine. You're still doing your Society of St. Leopold thing. Which is mostly true, right? Or we can say that you were a casualty because so if you're fine and we get reassigned, like we can't show you to anyone else. Like if we get reassigned or have to go back to Italy or what, like you can't go with us.
What happens if we would get daylight work too? Oh god.
Well, I've been trying to handle that most of the time so far. But yeah, like
Well,
but I'm
would you like to
I'm
be-
worried if we say that you were a casualty, right? Like tragic loss, which is mostly true. You are dead. That they try and send me someone else. Which also bad. But I don't know that they will do that, but I also don't know that we won't get reassigned or sent somewhere or whatever. But there's a whole bunch of fucking Night Stalkers in Chicago, so I assume they're going to keep us here for a while.
We could. I'm thinking we could put this off in a specific way. I'm not dead yet.
Mm-hmm.
I have pneumonia or something, right? Like I am out of commission,
Pneumonia.
and that keeps someone else from
I have
coming.
mono.
Sure, but
And
they're gonna. You have health insurance. They're gonna send you to a hospital for that.
fuck. A double OOC? I've not had health insurance with my employer ever before, so this is fucking new.
Look, vampire hunters may run a dangerous job with no support and get murdered very, very regularly, but you know,
I
they
like
get
that
some
they have,
benefits.
Yeah.
I like the idea that they have life insurance but not health insurance.
No, it's the other way around. You're Catholic. You already have life insurance.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. um. What is a thing? I broke both of my legs. I
Again, hospital.
shit.
I think we just say you're alive for now.
Yeah.
Because you're still doing stuff. You can still make your own reports if you have to. You shouldn't, because I'm still mentoring you. But, you know, as long as that's all fine.
We're kind of in a sandwich, huh? We're kind of the pickle in the sandwich.
Sure, yeah.
Silas is just kind of like nodding
Yeah.
continuously.
I'll get this figured out. I gotta go to bed soon. So you do what you need to do tonight. I'll get this figured out and get it sent off, and I'll let you know if some shit goes wrong or whatever.
Okay. That sounds good.
Okay. Cheers. Good luck.
See you later. I think he like throws on a coat. I don't even know like what time of year it is, but he throws on a coat. Fuck it.
It's nighttime. It's cool, probably. We could pick a time of year if we want to. Maybe like fall. It's just because I like fall.
It's
I want it to be fall.
Halloween.
It's Halloween. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah.
I think he just throws on a coat and heads over to Sylvia's.
Yeah. What's your desire for today's session?
I think the desire is to just really just generally have a conversation with Sylvia,
Sure.
like to establish connection further.
Oh boy, that's two that involve me so far.
Funny how the leader of the domain that you all live in would have some amount of interactions.
My chapstick fell out of the tube.
Sal.
Get slapped with responsibility, Sylvia. I don't know what to tell you.
Yes.
It's the gallery. You've woken up again.
I think a tiny little sunbeam peeked through the cracks and stung my face or something.
Ah, shit. That sucks.
Fuck.
Bummer.
You gotta make sure it's all the way closed. Gotta make sure it's all the way closed.
What? Yesterday kind of sucked. Was put in another situation where Sal was put in another situation yesterday where she could not do literally anything to prevent shitty things from happening to her and everybody around her. So she wakes up, you know, not exactly in skeleton hurt, everything hurts, more tired with it, everything sucks.
World weary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And immediately just goes and takes like a piece of duct tape and patches the boarded up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah.
And I think she goes down and just realizes that just as Mr. Bossman is closing or something like sliding down from a ladder in the top, a ladder or something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, boss.
Hey. You alright? You look shitty.
You know what? Not today. No,
No?
not today.
Oh.
No,
Well,
I'm out. See you
sorry.
later.
See ya.
Yeah.
Oh, quick before you go. Someone left something here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is?
I don't know. And he just like tosses you a bag that's got the Tori. It's got a little note on the front of it. It's like a small leather bag kind of thing. It looks like some kind of electronics case. And there's a little note stuck to the front of it that just says, "Hey, flower girl," and it's got a picture of the Toreador rose on it.
Like, just big grimace. Opens up the bag.
Not Jeffrey's handwriting.
Still big grimace.
Mm-hmm.
What the?
There's a phone in it.
Oh,
A little mobile
Spooky.
phone. Little cell phone.
interesting.
Thanks, boss. I'm just. Can you shred up everything right here, possibly?
Oh yeah, just use the thing in the back.
Yeah,
Shreds
totally.
anything.
Yeah. I think it's just like a
Use
bunch
that.
of razor.
I call it my accountant. That's how I do my taxes.
That's
Oh.
very funny.
Throw that shit in the trash.
I see.
Yeah. Just chucks everything in the shredder. Opens up the phone, and looks in the contacts.
Yeah. So it's a 2000s. Or not
It's a flip
2000s,
phone, right?
2010s.
It's a wait, BlackBerry or flip phone.
Later than
Razor
that.
Mobile.
It's like early. It's the slide out, so it's got the keyboard.
Oh yeah, I know the one.
And there's just the one contact in it. That just says Anita.
Huh. Remind me, who was Anita again? Sorry.
It's not a name you've heard before.
Oh. Sal puts it in their pants, not in their pocket, somewhere nobody will look because definitely not supposed to have this.
Yeah, not something you would generally.
Does Sal have stash pockets? Does Sal have stash pockets?
Yes.
He is a skater,
Nice.
or she is a skater.
Yes.
So,
Stash pockets.
do you carry weed with you?
Ah, to
Like
get
not
other
for
people
you,
high.
I guess. Well, because if you want to get high, the only way to do it is to get someone else high and then drink their blood.
Carrying that shit
Yeah.
to get other people.
Yeah. Just like Will carries a couple fake blunts for herself and a couple blunts for her friends just
Funny.
to like fake that she's smoking something.
Great.
Yeah. And I think
Incredible.
what she's gonna do is immediately duck into. You know how around the Belmont stop there are just a bunch of dirty old nooks and crannies in the red near the
Mhm.
red
Yeah,
line
absolutely.
stop?
All over the place.
We'll just duck into one of those and flip out the keyboard and send a text. Who is this? Like, because curiosity.
Yeah. Oh, Anita. Sorry I couldn't see you in person.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't see you too.
Do
I'm
I
sorry.
know
I seriously, really, really don't know who you are. I'm really sorry.
No, that's fine. I try and stay off the grid. You've been around for a while. You've been going to Annabelle's parties and Sylvia's.
Yeah, I mean, among other things, yes.
Sucks, right?
Yes. Yes, it does. I mean, Sylvia, not Sylvia, not Sylvia. Do not tell her I said that. Please do not
No,
tell her. I said
Sylvia's Sylvia's not. I understand. Sylvia's a delight, but unfortunately, she's part of a bigger mess.
Yeah.
You want to fuck the cam?
Dot 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 dot. Yes, but well, yes, yes.
Sick. Thought you might.
Yes.
Tell you what, I'll next time we got a party, send you an invite.
Yes, please, Mr. Miss. Sorry, pronouns.
Miss is fine.
Nah, alright, that'll do.
I like the idea that this happened in text.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Sure.
Just Anita's fine.
Okay, Anita, I will. Forgive me if I don't remember that. I will. You know, I'll see. Whatever, I'll see you.
Yeah. Smiley face.
Well, Desire already. Well, Desire already cheaped. Forget about last night. Ugh. Sylvia won't hear about this, but still.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to know.
I think she's just going to get on her board and start heading over down to, I think, maybe Cicero. Maybe just go skate down Cicero for a while.
Yeah, it's a good
Or
time.
north. Yeah.
You hungry?
A little bit.
Enough to do anything about it?
Not the right area.
Sure. Question for you.
Yeah.
The name Anita. Could you go ahead and roll? Let's say intelligence politics for me. I'm gonna say this is no stakes. If you fail, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's just a knowledge roll to see if the name rings any bells.
Intelligence, politics. Wow, that's terrible. So it's just 1d10 per dot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. God damn it!
How hungry are you?
Hungry. I have 2 dots of hunger.
Sure. Since I asked you for this and it's completely cerebral, don't worry about that.
Are you
Anyone
sure?
listening to this, that's a house. I'm not gonna have someone frenzy about like a memory check. It's fine.
Oh, I roll a 9. That's okay.
Just one die
Well, it's just
on intelligence politics.
Yes.
Just the one. Well, you got a success.
That's good.
So, yeah, one of Annabelle's parties sucked. Awful. Boring. But you had to be around, so just kind of like hearing, absorbing stuff by osmosis, especially kind of having a tendency to be places you're maybe not supposed to and hearing conversations you maybe aren't supposed to. You think you remember something about Anita and being a Bruja philosopher, maybe? They were talking about the old Bruja philosopher kingdoms and like how some of that's carried over. Someone made a very particularly interesting visual piece about the fall of the Bruja scholar kingdoms.
Whatever.
Probably didn't get a lot of details beyond that. Just something that it's embedded back there somewhere. Those words kind of mashed up together in some order.
Okay. Sal would definitely know the Bruja, definitely this.
Know of them, certainly.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have too much of a reaction right now.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Hmm.
Sylvia,
Hello.
it's later. It's a later waking.
Yeah, it is.
Luckily, Vincent always takes care of everything before you get up. Making sure
Victor.
everything goes on. Victor,
The
sorry.
lady likes to sleep.
You're
in.
fine.
Mm-hmm. The lady does like to sleep. So everything seems to be handled as far as the club. It's back to open night. Things are going as planned. Decent crowd tonight. Just usual party goers. Nothing special.
All right.
All your regulars. Yeah. How's it going? How's it going?
I think she's feeling pretty good after a pretty successful Elysium.
Yeah.
I think she would definitely call it a success. With minor, just there were some flaws to it that she did not care for. There are people who attended she did not care for.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, one of her own Elysium rules was broken.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't the worst one ever.
I don't think it was, is the problem.
No.
Definitely not the best, but not the worst. But overall, a success. Quite a few new faces, and always familiar ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she took it mainly as a success. Mainly because she still feels really good about publicly humiliating Sun.
Having a really good counter reaction. Yeah,
I think that just
catching a primogen unawares is certain. There are people are gonna talk about that.
Good.
It will have some. There's probably some rumors circulating already. Which I'm sure Sun is deeply enthused about.
Loving. Adoring. So she gets up, just stretches around a bit. She's a little hungry, but nothing too life-threatening at the moment. Well, unlife-threatening. I think she just gets ready and joins the party downstairs.
Sure.
A hostess has to be there for her people.
Mm-hmm. Do you typically walk the floor on just normal nights of operation?
Sometimes, yes.
How do you typically handle guests? Especially uninvited.
Well, it depends on, obviously, alive versus undead. For the most part, she's generally pretty gracious. She's not a person to turn someone away unless they are actually causing a problem.
Mm-hmm.
She adores new faces. Because new faces means new people to save.
Sister Constance, you mentioned you wanted to make an appearance?
Oh, I was thinking we're sending a message, but I mean, she could show up in person.
Please do. By courier, I assume?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, relevant...
Because it would literally take less
I don't believe, as far as, perks and traits go, you've taken... You'd probably be sending it via Sylvia's couriers. Because I believe... Because Sylvia's got Herd and Haven.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, that is
and you do not. Currently, because I realized after last session that you don't have any dots in Herd or Haven, but you still very much have the benefits of them in some ways. That we're going
so should we try to?
We're going to effectively be saying that you are being offered several of the benefits of Mother Superior's domain. Insofar as they're not your Herd and Haven, they are hers. and you're going to be able to have some of the benefits of that, like contact with with Mother Superior and a community with all the things, but relevant that you don't have a herd internally. If you want to drink or
Right.
feed, you're gonna need
It
to
has to be on-
hunt.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you
That
want
makes sense.
any, we're gonna call it effectively a one-dot haven. You're not gonna get some of the larger benefits of like something like Tartarus, right?
Right.
But you've got somewhere to sleep and somewhere to be. That is safe. Blackout curtains and a cathedral is a little odd, but you know, cathedrals are a little odd. So, and much of the existing population is kindred. I think it's actually probably safe to say that all of the current population of that Chantry is, or not, Chantry is a different word that means a different thing in the context of political machinations in Vampire the Masquerade. But that particular convent is currently 100% kindred, not including maybe attendees to chapels and whatnot. There's no great rules for having like an organized hunt, so to speak, because I think attempting to foster a community of churchgoers with the explicit purpose of feeding would be like a collective hunt. If that makes sense. But then we'd
More or
probably
less.
factor that more into something like a herd.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, basically, you don't have a lot. You don't have the big fancy things of like 3 dots in Haven. Like you don't have couriers. You don't have.
I am more than okay with that.
Ghouls. You are very like. Regardless of your standing with Mother Superior herself, in the structure of your status with her and the Camarilla at large, you are very much kind of a bottom rung.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
if you would like to send a message to Sylvia, you would probably like to do so through one of her couriers, which is likely Victor or maybe even one of Victor's associates.
Okay.
Or just the mail. Pay a courier. There's honestly, like, you could probably get in contact. I like bike couriers are a big thing in Chicago.
They are.
And I really like the idea of like ghoul bike couriers in Chicago. Like, I think that's absolutely a thing that the Camarilla employs at large. But you would have to hire someone, likely, or otherwise schmooze.
Just make an appearance.
Because a lot of the dots you have decided to take as far as like advantages and flaws and stuff, and we can retroactively change this if you really want to. If we want to say like, no, you do have herd in Haven. Like we want to actually take some of those benefits, then we can. But otherwise, a lot of your benefits are in.
They're very individualistic.
Yes, you've got like,
Eating.
you're very pretty. You're aggressively pretty.
This is basically where all my dots are.
Even Sylvia blushes when you're around.
Yeah, Sister Constance has
like
4 dots in looks, merit, stunning. Like that.
Yeah,
it's bonkers. Like extremely sexy vampire. Now.
Absolutely, I've checked you out. 100%.
100%.
I'm letting you know this right now.
Constance probably doesn't care or notice.
Oh, that's what I like to hear, baby.
So, just to kind of talk about that a bit. So if you'd like to send a message, you may. Honestly, probably the easiest way to just be to bring it yourself, or to, because it's not that far. Close enough to walk, I suppose. Because I think that's how you traversed last time.
I think that's literally just how we.
Yeah.
It's not an ordeal.
The kindred are allowed to take cabs. You're allowed to call it. Well, calling an Uber is a little bit more complicated because you're not allowed to have a phone, which is, and also it's the 2010s. But you know,
what is an Uber?
it's an Uber, like the German word, like Ubermensch and things like that. So take that as you will. talking about the logistics of being a kindred is a little complicated sometimes.
Yeah, I'm more than fine having a limited scope. Even like I think that's fine.
Cool.
She's literally like green, so like in that case, it probably is just easier if she just goes and like asks around. Like it's just or like just goes to Tartarus and like either delivers the message herself or no, yeah. I think in that case she just goes.
Sure.
She has a little envelope with her.
Absolutely. So, Sylvia, you're
Hello.
walking the floor, right?
I am, yes.
And Sister Constance has entered for the second time in a row. Maybe looking less politically minded, less so much to stick around for a gathering as much as she is looking for. You're probably looking for Victor or Sylvia herself.
Either or. I think Constance would more or less trust whoever is like running the place, but is probably more
And
keen on.
after having
They're like 50-50.
and after Victor helped you last night too, you'd definitely be
Definitely
familiar.
trust her.
But I think it's likely that Sylvia spots Sister Constance before Sister Constance spots Sylvia.
You can just see like a large, well, not even like large, just like a medium-sized black silhouette against the.
Fair question. What are you wearing? Is it anything similar to the night before?
Yes, it's always a habit. Every time.
Okay, then I definitely noticed you.
Oh.
And
I
so
think-
do the party goers, certainly.
Yeah.
Who invited the party nun?
Hot nun. I just need you to know that like basically any
Halloween's come early,
character
babe.
with fewer than 3 dots in composure is going to just be like on a loop in the back of their brain somewhere. Is just like hot nun whenever they see you.
Fucking lizard brains.
She has 4 in composure, and
4?
she's still kind of like, ooh.
4 dots in looks. 4 dots.
That's really good. That's really
That's
good.
one fewer than the maximum number. There are thousands of years old vampires who don't look as good as you.
Of course not.
Sylvia is a looker, but like, you take the cake easy.
Oh.
There's only a tad bit of jealousy. Only a little bit. Only a
A
little.
healthy amount.
It's that jealousy where it's like, man, wish that was me.
Exactly.
Want
Or
that,
maybe
also want to
you're
be
like,
that.
you can get to the extent of just like, damn, good for her. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty much Sylvia. Just like,
You get them.
did all right. My creation actually went very well.
Oh.
And she will come over. You see that she's nursing like a drink in her hand, but it's obviously been like not drank from at all.
Right, is for sure.
Just for it's completely for appearances.
That's fun.
Dear sister, might I say that it is quite a surprise to see you again so soon.
I want to thank you again for your hospitality, Lady Kanto. And again, offer my sincerest apologies for any scene Brother John may have caused. And slight. His values don't necessarily represent the values of the entire congregation.
I understand, and I appreciate it. Would you care to take this elsewhere?
Oh, I mean, if there was more you wish to speak about, I only wish to continue to extend the gratefulness and your continued welcome, meaning quite a lot to us. I am if there's something you need of me, then certainly.
I'm not sure I do at the moment, but I do fully appreciate any and all help the Abbey is willing to lend. And yours included. She winks at you.
Constance really doesn't react to that, but
Totally fine. That's okay.
she always has this mask of professionalism. How have things been since last night? I did notice at least some amount of unsettlement towards the end.
Well, some people believe rules are meant to be broken, and that includes those in Elysium, I suppose. A single rule was broken under my nose, but otherwise, I think things went rather smoothly. At least this time around.
I'm sorry that it was not quite a perfect night, but I suppose we can take our imperfect nights as well.
So enough of that about that. How did you enjoy it?
I found it quite novel, Lady
Truly.
Kanto.
Truly. Please, Sylvia will be fine.
Sylvia, then.
If you do not wish to be put on the spot, don't worry about it.
I truly have nothing negative to say. It was a perfectly acceptable event.
Then that's all you have to say.
I'm surprised that so many here are bemused by my presence. I suppose being within our walls for so long has made me a bit self-secure in my place in the world. And coming here reminded me that not everyone sees it the same way. Our order is very interested in trying to change the perception. I'm hoping that my continued presence here is not unwanted or does not become a problem for others. I would not want to discomfort anyone.
Quite the contrary, good sister. I find your goals and admirations, not just yours, of course, but the whole order, very admirable.
We've actually been rather inspired by the various domains and those who run them in holding Elysium. And while there are some logistical problems to be hammered out, we have some interest in being able to do the same. Although, of course, with the church sharing in your domain, we would not dream of hosting such a thing without your knowledge, consent, and direct influence.
Mm-hmm.
We have been of the mind that perhaps we can collaborate and perhaps host something of larger scale. Something to help many realize that, at least in our instance, the church is not their enemy.
I must say, very intriguing. Very intriguing idea. Interesting proposal. My only, may I say it, hesitation would be I do know of those who, unfortunately, have a fear of the cross itself, and, well, needless to say, it doesn't go over well.
That does prove problematic.
Difficult, yes, but not impossible.
I would like to say that we would be open to making accommodations on such nights, but it would have to be discussed further with, well, those a bit higher up in the rungs than myself.
I can accept this. I think it would be in everyone's best interest if I were to possibly meet those higher ups at some point and discuss. I cannot make any promises right now, of course. But the idea is amusing. And when ideas amuse me, I'm more likely to see them through.
Promising then. I will see that it continues to amuse you. Consider me a conduit with which to continue communicating to those above, such as our Mother Superior. I will be happy to pass word along of these talks and ideas.
Of course. Do you need me to write down anything to pass along? I can take a few minutes, I suppose. Pen up a letter to your Mother Superior.
I don't believe it's absolutely necessary, though if you were to send any messages, I can certainly make sure that they get through to her. She entrusts us with reporting all the goings-ons that we encounter directly to her anyways. So, whether it's by your mouth or ours, she'll hear it.
That's fair. But, as is customary, when receiving a letter, you write a letter back. Do give me just a few minutes. Please enjoy the stage, the scene for a while. I'll return in just a bit. And if you need anything, or if you need me, you can find Victor. He'll be walking around.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Of course. And she'll politely curtsy, and she will take her leave to her back office.
Just as you're turning around, Diego is trying to get your attention.
I do not remember this name.
He's one of your employees.
Oh, he is. Okay, I don't have to talk to
he's
you.
He's one of your ghouls. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Funny.
Okay. Awesome.
He comes up and is just like, I just got a missive for you. It's from the Nosferatu.
Please. And she'll hold out her hand.
He gives it over. The Nosferatu messages tend to be very utilitarian.
Mm-hmm.
They're the people who used to handle technology before the Second Inquisition happened. And so it's still like printed. It looks like it's literally like printer paper printed. Although it looks like it might have been faxed, which is a fun gray area.
She will pay no mind to that.
So it's a report from. It says it's got the like full title, house and line from the top, and it's from some Nosferatu you don't particularly recognize.
Okay.
Let's say it's notably, let's say, sorry, I'm trying to think of a good Nosferatu name.
Joey. I don't know.
The Joester.
Raze, R-A-Z-E, Raze.
Raise? That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Of Wanika, who is likely a name you've heard before. One of the more prominent Nosferatu of the Chicago at large.
Not in my area, though. Notably.
No, unlikely
Okay.
to be in your area.
Okay.
Very different domain.
Gotcha.
The Nosferatu don't hold traditional domains the same way a lot of other people do. They either tend to move around or typically kind of broad strokes the Undercity, right? I was going to say a Chicago history thing, but I'll leave that to find you all. A vampire Chicago history thing, but I'll leave that for y'all to find out another day. But it's a particular note. So we'd mentioned that there are a number of Malkavians have been moving into your territory.
Yes.
Recently. One of the older Malkavians who has been living here for a long time, Theodore, has been missing for a long time. And according to this res of Wanika, of the Nosferatu, they found his body in the sewers, drained and then beheaded. Which is concerning.
Interesting. Yeah, that's really not good.
There is no additional information. There is no... This is a lot of information. Like, this is... It's potential... Actually, let's have you do some... Would you like to investigate this letter somewhat? We have dice for a reason.
Yeah.
Insight would probably be pretty good. I'll give... Different information can be had from different skills. I think you could get something from insight or etiquette or politics.
Okay, I can do those two. I can't do insight.
And then probably wits or intelligence.
Those are the same for me. So 2, and then I don't think I can invoke high status politics in this.
No, especially since the Nosferatu are not particularly high status.
Yeah. So that's going to be what, 5d10?
Yep.
Okay.
How hungry are you?
1.
All right, so one of those will be a blood dice.
So R
Hunger dice, blood dice.
5d10. First one is going to be hunger.
Sure.
First one was a 10 on my hunger die.
Cool.
9, 7, 8, 7.
So that is 5 successes.
Yup.
That
I rolled a 41, baby.
Profoundly improbable and very impressive.
I quite literally will post.
The threshold of information was 2. So that's really... Yeah, you're going to get a lot of... so, base level, right? Like, the surroundings, we mentioned the faxiness of it. Like, everything about this missive kind of leads you to believe that it is definitely from the source of that it says it's from. It's fairly rare nowadays. One thing about the Nosferatu in Chicago in particular is they tend to be secret grabbers. of some secret mongers, secret merchants. They deal in information in a lot of ways. And it's fairly unlikely for them to go to you with information. Like, this is odd. Not just the information itself, but the fact that either this particular Nosferatu or Juanica chose to tell you this of their own volition and not wait for you to come give them a favor for it. Yeah.
Ooh.
With five, I want to give you something else. I'm trying to think of something else I could give you because five is incredible.
If that's all you can give me, that's okay. Maybe, is there anything within the... Oh, that's fine. If you thought of something.
Well, I was just thinking, like, I'm going to give you a +1 to your dice pool to act on this information in the future.
Okay.
So if you, like, use this information or act on it or do something about it for the rest of this session, so to speak, you'll get a bonus to rolling for it.
Okay.
What was your suggestion? I want to hear.
Is there anything in the web recently relating to him?
How many dots do you have in the web?
A fair number. 3.
Do you remember the ability that comes with?
God, not on the top of my head.
I can certainly check. Because I know it's got, like, a stated ability in addition to just being a number of dots.
Yeah. I don't remember off the top of my head, unfortunately.
I have the book. Oh, is it in? It must be in.
It's going to be in Chicago, I think.
Is it?
I think it was only in... Or was that the added? Because there was a specific one that just had just around the web.
Thrilling audio content.
All right, around the web, VtM. That's not what I wanted.
Where are these?
Sorry, I was trying to Google it,
Mm-hmm.
and I just came across ShrekNet.
Oh yeah, ShrekNet.
And it kind of threw me
That's
off.
That's what the Nosferatu made. It's the
Yep,
dark web, but
yep.
for vampires.
VtM.
And it caused the Second Inquisition. So, well, it didn't cause the Second Inquisition. It was a big part of the Second Inquisition. Nosferatu still get shit about that.
Network. Yeah, I'm sure.
It's called that because one of the more notable higher generation Nosferatu's name was Shrek.
Cobweb.
God, where is it?
Yeah,
I looked up.
I cannot.
I think it's called the cobweb, not the web.
Oh, that might be true.
Because when I look up web, it sends me to cobweb. Cobweb.
Oh, the Chicago by Night PDF is gone.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's the cobweb.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so you've got 3 dots, right, across the web?
I have 3.
Your voice is one of the strongest in the cobweb. You can hold a more involved conversations with Malkavians in your city. Once per story, you may initiate the call, sending impressions of the time and gathering place to all who can hear. This does not guarantee obedience. Herding cats is child's play compared to organizing the children of Malkov. So that's not what you're doing. But you can definitely hear on the web.
Mm-hmm. I'm not calling them or being like, hey, yo,
right. You're
anyone hear about this?
You're just listening.
Looking at it.
I'm just very specifically listening to see if I hear anything. But while I'm doing that, I'm penning out a message to Mother Superior.
In general impressions over the course, this is something that you've definitely been up on as far as like keeping track of Malkavians in your area. it's not that there is anything people hear, but there is a dull pain that has been present for a long time that's gone now.
Oh. Oof. Oh, I don't like that. I really don't like that.
You didn't even notice that it was there until it's
Until
missing.
it was gone, yeah.
Because it's so the cobweb's just so chaotic, right? There's so much going on all the time, and there was just a bit of pain that you didn't notice before, but now is noticeable in its absence.
How much did I know about, what was his name, Joseph?
Theodore.
Yeah. Why was I thinking Joseph? Theodore. How much did I know about him?
Probably as much as you would know about any of your individual patrons. Like, you have a reasonably large... We mentioned that you have the rivaling the largest Malkavian domain.
Yes.
Not by population, because Sun has the hospitals, but by size, certainly. So, as much as you would know about any of your other citizens, I would say enough to know their name, and you'd interacted with them enough to recognize them and notice when they were missing. But probably not enough to know any more specific details about him. If you would like to, you may ask around, do some contacting. There are lots of Malkavians, and also other people in the area, but I think as far as baseline knowledge, not much. General personality quirks being he was a bit paranoid. He tended to do a lot of wandering.
Because mainly I'm thinking, this is kind of out of character, kind of in character. My thing is, if he was paranoid, was there anything that he was super paranoid about before he went missing that would be known, or would I have to find that out?
You'd probably have to find that out.
Okay.
If there's anything particularly prescient that he talked about or rambled about or whatnot, you'd maybe need to talk to someone who's a bit closer to him to find out.
I almost want to use the call now, but not. But I think I don't know. I'm gonna hold off because this is a lot of information. This is very bad information. But also, I don't think she would want to freak out the Malkavian population of Chicago just yet with this.
Sure.
I think this...
While you're mulling that over a little, maybe, I have maybe a short aside we can do if you want to think for a minute.
Aside as in...
I have just a little thing for Sal.
Okay.
Oh!
You're skating up Cicero, or down Cicero?
Sure.
Down Cicero.
Could you roll me wits streetwise?
Ooh, I'm good at this. Yeah, that's wheat yes. 6 D10. I keep closing my D10 roller. Oh, that's not good. A 6, a 5, a 1, a 2, and a 6.
So two successes?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. You feel a chill up the back of your spine. You get the sense that that feeling when you know someone's looking at you, but you don't know who or from where.
Yeah. I think. Am I? I'm probably. Where am I? Like a car park or something?
Sure.
Like, yeah. There are a bunch of auto dealers on Cicero. I don't know if you ever. I don't know if you ever. I think she just stops in the middle of an alleyway in front of a car and just looks down the alleyway and like hops over the car and just starts going down the alleyway and tries to see if anybody begins following her.
There's a cat that follows you.
Mm. Cat. Ooh, tell me a little bit more about the cat.
It's like a very shabby gray, kind of mottled fur. Very much a street cat. Definitely not someone's cat.
Oh.
It's just kind of like, it was curious. I think as soon as you like turn around and pay attention to it, it scampers off.
Alright. I think Sal's a little spooked by this.
Makes sense.
Cats are
Hey!
like,
Anybody watching?
You don't get a
Fuck.
response.
Fuck me.
Good strategy, though. I like that one.
Who's there?
I need a drink.
Where's the wind?
Must
I
have been
think-
the wind.
What was that noise? Huh?
huh?
Must have been the wind.
I think she's going to start skating towards Sylvia's place,
Sure.
just keeping one eye on the one eye behind her for the most part.
Yeah, definitely.
Does not like the looks of the sounds of this.
It feels weird. And yeah, 2 successes is going to get you enough to know that someone was
Bad
watching you,
feels.
but not enough to know who or where. Sylvia.
Hello. Oh, did I mute myself?
No, you're good.
Oh, I did.
You've received a missive. You've gotten this information.
I've gotten this information. I think she's going to do something that she doesn't normally do and keep this.
Sure.
I think it is in her best interest to keep this specific piece of paper.
All right.
And she'll stash it for now. She folds it up a little smaller and hides it in her skirt pocket. And she finishes penning the letter to Mother Superior, specifically stating that she would be interested in a possible partnership with her and the Abbey. How she'd be interested in meeting Mother Superior if she was around or anyone else in charge. And she does stamp it with her seal that pretty much... It's the Malkavian kind of like seal. It's a pretty standard one, but it has like a bit of a flare. Like a bit of like a Ventru flare almost, but isn't Ventru.
Sure.
And like that is what her
Going
symbol
for a
is.
very official vibe.
Yes. It's one that you like. It's one that is known within probably all of Chicago. That is Sylvia. Not anyone else. That's Sylvia.
You gotta build your brand.
Yes. She designed it herself. She was very happy with it.
Very proud of it. Did you
So-
get any like help from a Toreador friend, just like to take a look at it?
Yes. They she kind of gave the idea. They designed it. She had a custom like stamp made for it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think no, it's a custom stamp and then a custom wax seal.
Excellent.
Because absolutely, she does the wax seal, baby.
Very honestly, wax seal's very popular.
Very
popular in Kindred Society.
She
They're
absolutely.
pretty
uses
and they're
it.
temporary. They're really easy to like break down and remelt and things like that, so that
You
don't
can absolutely
leave anything
reuse
behind.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm. So she will heat up a thing of wax over a candle that is almost always lit in that office. There's always a candle.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll stamp it and put it together and leave the room to go find Sister Constance again.
Silas.
Silas.
Silas. What are you up to tonight? You said you were headed, like everyone else, toward Tartarus,
Sylvia's.
potentially.
Yeah.
Could you roll Wits Insight or Wits Animal Ken for me?
Yeah. Animal. Oh, there it is. Getting all my D10s. Do I add hunger dice to these, or are 2 of these just hunger dice out of the 5?
How many You're at 2 hunger?
Yes.
Then 2 of those dice will be hunger dice.
Okay, green ones are hunger dice. Got a success on a hunger die. Got a success on a not hunger die. The rest are failures.
So you got 2 successes total?
Yeah.
Okay. You're also being watched.
Interesting.
And did you roll Animal Ken or Insight?
I rolled Animal Ken.
There is a shabby gray street cat that clearly doesn't belong to anyone. Kind of scurries off into an alley as soon as you spot it.
Huh.
I'm sure it's nothing. You can arrive at Tartarus whenever you so desire.
Do I want to?
Sorry, I thought that was what you were intending to do.
That's what I was intending to do, but I'm feeling watched.
Yeah.
Do I want to head to my destination while I'm feeling watched?
Up to you.
So, rouse check. How do I do a rouse check?
So, a rouse check lets you enhance ability. Well, so rouse check is a cost that you pay to do other things. A rouse check is just what you did when you got up this evening. Is you roll a d10. If it's a 6 or more, you're fine. You get to quell the blood. If not, your beast kicks a little bit and you get a little hungrier.
I would like to make one of those.
For why?
I would like to step into the shadows and shape change.
Please do so. And that costs a rouse?
Yeah, it says 1 rouse check.
Alright, then go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
That is a 6.
Alright, so you're fine.
Alright.
What are you shape changing into?
Something that can fly.
Sure.
What's a good night bird?
Ravens are very popular. In Chicago, honestly, just pigeons.
Oh, there we go.
Inconspicuous.
Be the little shit bird I am.
Could you could you be a deer and tell me what category of discipline this is? Is it under animalism?
It's under Protean.
Protean, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. You are now a pigeon.
I would like to follow the cat.
Please do. It scurries into the alleyway, and I assume you take a moment to transform.
Yeah, and I like.
You are going to
find a-
attempt to follow. Do you have any good kind of following? And are you trying to do so unseen?
Unseen from whoever is watching me, yes.
Sure.
Because I'm uncertain if Cat is the Watcher or if the Watcher exists elsewhere.
Reasonable. So I'm going to go ahead and say dexterity stealth
Okay.
would make the most sense.
Got 3 in that. Okay, so we get to roll a lot of dice.
So you seem like you're a fan of rousing the blood. This is a thing I meant to. I have a meaning to mention more. Is you can do a thing called a blood surge if you're not particularly satisfied with your dice pool, which is you make a rouse check. That's all you got to do. And then you get to increase one of your attributes by 2 points per blood potency. Or sorry. I'm going to say that for today. It's 2 points per blood potency. But this is one of the things that's explicitly covered in the 5th edition core book errata. It basically, at the cost of pumping a little bit more vitae into your bloodline, you get a little bit stronger. So if you would like to maybe ensure, because this is not going to be an easy test.
Right, even with 6 dice?
Even with 6 dice.
Okay.
I'm setting it at like a difficulty 3. So with 6 dice, it's about a coin flip.
Right. Fuck it. Let's roll the dice tonight.
Sure. Go ahead and make me another rouse check.
That is a 9.
Excellent. You don't even get hungrier. See? Why would you not do it? So go ahead and add 2 to your dice pool.
Alright.
200 dice still?
Yes.
Excellent.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Cool. Any crits?
Crit is a 10.
Yep. And pairs of
Yes.
10s.
Oh, no, I've only got 1 10.
Okay. Then you're fine.
I've got 2 8s and 2 9s, but
Nice. Those are
probably not
successes.
a crit.
Yeah, you managed to tail this cat. Little did you know that pigeons have particularly good night eyesight. So, or at least this one does, because it's a vampire. And you managed to tail this particular cat for a ways. You note that it scampered into the alley, and you kind of spot it further down the alley. And it makes its way kind of around the building block and comes back up the next alley and pops its head out and appears to be looking for wherever you were before you transformed. I am going to check one thing very quickly. Yeah. It does that. And then after like clearly not spotting you, it walks back down the alleyway and kind of finds a particularly dark spot to sit in for a moment. And then you see a man walk out of the other side of the alleyway. Tall, older, 40s, graying beard, heavy jacket, looks maybe ex-military.
Doesn't look like anybody that I saw under Sylvia's employ.
No.
I'm assuming the check I rolled would not help me follow this person.
You could. No, with enough success. I think that's reasonable. You can follow them for a bit.
Yeah, just see which direction they head off into, for how long.
Sure. They're walking around for a while. They end up taking the train northwest.
Oh, so what, they take the blue line or something?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna just fly over
Yeah.
to Sylvia's.
Absolutely. Butter.
Bird time.
Are there any limits to that?
Bird up.
I think it's an hour,
Protean?
if I recall.
We can look it up later. Yeah, then I think an hour basically gets you to the point where you see him get on the train.
Oh, sure.
And,
okay.
like, say, have enough time to get either have enough time to get back, or you just transform there and walk.
Yeah, probably
Or get your own transit, because, you know,
it's been a bit.
and you've been flying, which is a lot faster than walking.
Weirdly. No, I think he just hoofs it. It can't be that far. Sounds like this person did a lot of, like, street surfing, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just from what your description was, is like they kind of walked around a bit, like aimlessly, like trying to not necessarily lose tails, but like seem inconspicuous or something. I'm not sure.
If you wanted to maybe, like, get some insight into his demeanor, you could, if you wanted to.
What would I roll for that? Wits?
Probably insight. I'd say wits insight.
Wits insight? Okay. Well, listen.
That or wits subterfuge. Game recognizing game. Or wits larceny.
What's my larceny? Where is larceny? Oh, there it is. Oh no, I'll do wits subterfuge. So that'll get me 4 dice.
Sure.
That is literally 4 8s.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You get the impression that this person knows how to disappear into a crowd. The sort of aimlessness with which he was walking was very subtly intentional in a way that you could kind of recognize. So definitely very little. You get the sense that very little, if any, of what you saw this figure do this evening was not intentional.
Yeah. Did I get a sense of what vampire clan they hailed from, or
How
No.
much do you know? That's a more of a history question.
Ooh, that's true. How
Because
much
you
would I
saw
know?
what he can do.
Right. Oh, I have thoughts. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna head to Sylvia's then.
Sure. Take the blue line the other direction. Probably a bus. Lateral move. Anyway.
Yeah.
You get to Sylvia's whenever you want. Sal also can get to Sylvia's whenever she wants.
The gang's all here.
Reconvening. Sylvia, you mentioned you were retreating to your quarters somewhat, or your office, your study.
Yes. She would have been in the back office, I think,
While she was writing the letter.
while she was writing the letter.
Constance, have you taken off in the meantime?
I hope
no.
not. I had the letter to
No.
give to
Oh,
you.
right,
because
right.
Constance
I'm
was
like, I
waiting.
hope not.
Mhm.
But
No.
if you want, I got Victor. It's cool.
No, Constance is waiting patiently. She's not in a rush or anything. She sits and waits.
I personally like the idea that Sal and or Silas arrive while Constance is still there, but Sylvia is still working on writing the letter.
Yes.
I like to think we arrive at the same time.
I think you'd have to be staggered somewhat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because of a number of observations both of you made.
Yeah, and you're coming from Cicero. That's a bit of a...
I
Like, I
kind of
live by
am,
Cicero.
you know.
Well, so
West Loop.
it would make sense. So Sal got a lot more of a head start, I think, is one of the big things.
Yeah.
Sal was way out there, and then decided to make her way to Sylvia, and then you more recently did this whole bit and went, oh, I should go see Sylvia about it. And the time differential is made up for in travel distance somewhat.
Yeah.
But staggered a bit, I guess.
So, fiction magic. You arrive at roughly the same time. I'm the storyteller.
hey,
I get to
it's,
dictate.
God. Amazing.
What was your name again?
Silas.
Silas, right.
And you're...
Sal.
Sal, okay.
Yeah,
I knew it started with an
yeah.
S.
You got good eyes, right? Good eyes?
I sure.
Anybody following me?
I
Don't
give
look back.
you like a very quirked eyebrow. Should I make a roll for this check, or do
If
I
you'd
just
like
look...
to.
I would like to.
Yeah, same. Wits insight or wits streetwise.
Is that what I rolled the first time?
You rolled wits animal ken the first time.
Oh, but this is a little bit different. Okay.
Correct. There was a
This guy's
contextual reason you were allowed to roll animal ken.
Yeah. I got one success, both hunger dice failed.
Okay, that's fine. You didn't happen to roll a 1 on either hunger dice, did you?
I sure did.
Okay.
Oh,
but
no.
you did get 1 success, correct?
I did.
Sure. Nothing to worry about. The only thing you need to worry... So, a bestial failure occurs when you roll a 1 on a hunger die and no successes.
Mm-hmm.
It'll happen. It'll happen eventually. You got 1 success?
One success. Yep, out of 3 dice.
Not as far as you can tell. And you're pretty confident about that. It's just like, no one's following you.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody's following you. It doesn't look like it.
Good.
Person following you?
Yeah?
Okay.
Somebody was. I don't know, a couple streets back. Don't know if you were. Don't worry about it. Hey, forget about it. Let's, you here to see, let's move on. You here to see Sylvia too, huh? I'm guessing? I mean, why else would you be here?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Yeah, you little newbie. Look,
Sorry.
Psychic damage.
Yes.
Make a social attack roll.
Social attack.
Please, Mbebu.
yeah, so how you holding up? I guess, after that disaster. I mean, believe me that not every single Elysium will be like that. Please believe me when nothing.
I like Silas kind of like looks behind him, even if they're inside already. He's still just kind of like a little freaked out. Says, "I'm good. Um, yeah, how you probably are pretty shaken up, huh?
Oh, oh yeah. I got over it. I got over it. I'm over it.
You sound over it.
Yeah. God, so who the fuck even are you, man? I got asked so many questions, but I didn't even learn anything. Like, who are you? Where'd you come from, eh?
Well, I'm from just the suburbs, you know. Moved to the big city for.
Yeah, the suburbs, huh? Still going on about that? Yeah. Keep your secrets, okay.
Go off. Wow, go off.
Damn.
Look, pal, if you have some ashamed part of your past, I'm not gonna push too hard, but look, man, you got nothing to fear with me here, huh?
Right. Yeah. No, I mean it's not shameful. I don't really like where I came from. Don't really want to think about it.
Fucking same. Look, you ever been to Indiana?
I've had the misfortune of being stuck in Gary, Indiana. Yes.
Yes. All right. Then you'll know. Then you'll know all about the cornfields.
I always
Imagine,
thought that was Iowa, but
dude. Every place in this goddamn part of the country has cornfields. Imagine being stuck in a part of the country where there are no people for miles, and all, and you're lonely to the point where you start making little stick figures out of corn husks. That's what I had to do for years.
that sounds really nice.
No.
Just the
No.
way that you said that, holy shit.
No, you fucking idiot.
All I'm saying is sometimes being around people is a lot.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot, but it's where the only fun stuff happens. I mean, back there, all I could do was take my dad's 45 and and shoot, shoot heads off corn. I mean, it gets old after a couple years, I'll tell you. Yeah.
So you just got to get an ATV and just crash that puppy, wrap it around a tree, like I did. Broke my fucking leg when I was 14. It was great. It was a great time. Would definitely do it again.
Man, sounds like a great goddamn time. Yeah, wish I could have had one myself. Why I came out here, because like fuck, I couldn't get anything I wanted back there. But here, man, this is where the shit happens.
Yeah, you got one of them cool concrete ATVs, you know?
Yeah, fucking four wheels and a piece of wood do fucking blow people's goddamn minds. It is the dream.
Sick flips, hot tricks. Is that how that goes? I don't remember.
Yeah, I guess. It's more like melts people's faces, man. Melt people's faces.
Right. Literally, like, is there a flamethrower attachment on that? Like, what kind of heat is being packed literally on that?
No, but I will write that down. I have no idea why I fucking didn't think of that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here to be of service.
Yeah. So, is I'm guessing Sister Constance is in the background, probably.
quietly observing this entire
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
Uh,
Sal has noticed you, has not said hi.
I think if you even glance at her, she gives a little like forefinger wave, you know, little like hello.
Nod, turn back.
Uh,
I think Silas would probably follow your eyesight and go, "Oh Lord."
uh, definitely arches a brow at you. It's just like, oh, this guy again.
Literally, Elysium was last night, guys. Chill. Behave.
Incapable.
God. I think shortly after you guys enter, like I'm talking like maybe like a minute and a half. That's when Sylvia X like returns.
Mm-hmm.
Silas does like one of the most inaudible "Oh thank gods" you've ever never heard.
So she approaches Sister Constance first. Here you go, darling.
Thank you very much. I look forward to spending more time here in the future. But I must attend to my duties for now. Unless that is, you have anything else for me.
I do not think I do at the moment, but please, you're welcome anytime.
I think Sister Constance will give just kind of a polite nod, tuck the missive kind of like, I don't know, into like a pocket in the inner folds of her habit. And then on her way out, she will, as an aside to... She'll wave again at Sal, little forefinger wave. This cute little weirdo. And to Silas will say, you seemed perturbed yesterday. If you have any questions, do feel free to visit the convent down the street. You can't miss it.
Silas nods and says, "Keep your eyes peeled, sister."
Oh. Sanguine be thy name. Wanders off.
Heading back home, probably.
Oh yeah, she. If it's not business related, she really isn't like doing much around town. She might take the long way just to enjoy the night air, but other than
Definitely,
that,
yeah.
like, she has no qualms just walking about at night. She's more of a simple pleasures type.
I figured. Makes sense. Sylvia, you've got a couple guests.
I think Sal will just walk up to Sylvia and say, Lady Syl, hello, 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 hug, hug, hug.
Absolutely hugs you back.
Hello.
Honestly, like, almost picks you up and twirls you around just for a bit.
Yeah, hope everything went well after last night. Is everything okay? Everything going well?
Ooh, how would she respond to this? Hold on. She actually is a really good composer, so she's actually fine. Things are as they have been.
Yeah.
Things change, the more they stay the same.
I heard some murmurings about, I mean, props to you for telling off the piece of shit. Heard some murmurings. Stay safe, all right? All right, but also, look, I was going down Cicero, well, like hush tone. I was going down Cicero like usual.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was following me. I don't know who didn't see him. Somebody was following me. Do you mind if I don't know, stay here for the night? I don't want to bring him back to my place if they're still there. Because I know nobody would come in here. Not with you here.
All right. Quick question. What are Sal's pronouns?
She, her.
She, her. Okay, I was just making sure. Dearest daughter, of course you can.
Yeah, thank you. Just don't want to endanger the old boss man. Thank you. I'll be
If
upstairs
you
in the
need
VIP lounge.
someone to escort you.
No, I'll be.
Anything.
I can if it comes to it, I can run faster than any idiot who tries to follow me.
I
Thank
know.
you though.
Let me know if you need anything, but my home is your home,
I
dear
know.
child.
That's why you're the best. That's why you're the best.
No, darling, that's why you're the best.
Oh.
She goes and like does like a little pinch of your cheek, but like not hard.
Wow. Sal smiles and just and looks to Silas and says, good talk. If you ever want to get into some, hijinks, if you know what I mean, hit me up later. I got a couple of nice spots that we can do some weird fun shit.
I will remember that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, finger guns. Fucks off up the stairs.
Well, you definitely now have Sylvia's attention after Sal was talking to you. So she's looking right at you.
What was I saying that was so attention grabbing?
The fact that Sal was just talking to you.
Oh, okay.
The fact that she now sees that you are here.
Sylvia, good to see you again. Please.
I might say it is surprising to see you back so soon.
Did you not ask to see me today?
It's not that I didn't want to. Wait. Out of character, did I ask you to come back today?
I believe so because you didn't want to talk while Elysium was happening.
Then disregard that last bit. Why did I want to talk?
You also invited yourself to Silas's.
Right.
That's also true.
Were we gonna do that?
I was not planning on that.
Okay.
I was reading Silas coming here as a move of like, maybe she'll forget. Maybe we can do this instead.
See, Sylvia, really smart. That's why she's been alive for over 200 years. Caroline, dumbass.
A mood.
Look, notes are just prosthetic. Notes and the other players and GM are just prosthetic knowledge. An extension of the character.
Shall we continue our conversation elsewhere then?
I think that would be to both of our benefits.
Please.
Question.
Go on.
Can we have this conversation at the beginning of the next session?
Absolutely.
I hate to cut it off, but it's
Tired?
almost 10:30, and I gotta make sure I don't sleep through my third day at work.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm fine with that.
No worries. It's a nice short session, and I kind of like it.
Also giving me a lot more to play with still. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm still getting my footing with the system and the planning and the subterfuge.
It's fine.
Stars and wishes. I'm gonna go alphabetically. Sal.
Stars. I feel like I had a better kind of a slightly better foothold of Sal with in regards to Silas this time. I was able to interact with other characters maybe a little bit better than before. Still trying to get used to her
Definitely.
and trying to, I guess, figure her out for the most part, how I want to play her.
Yeah.
And also I just have fun talking with other characters. I clearly have a lot to learn about about this world, and I'm excited to learn more.
Absolutely.
Wishes. I think I need to, mostly just me, I need to come in with a plan. Since this seems to be a much more open game, I need to come in here with more of a prescribed plan for my character that day. That's what I need to do next session.
Sure. Yeah. That is a reasonable desire and plan.
Prescribed set of goals.
Definitely. Silas, stars and wishes.
Stars. This is kind of both star and wish simultaneously. I really enjoy talking to Sal.
That was cute.
Like, it's a really fun roleplay moment because, like, being so disinterested in a conversation while trying to hold a conversation is just kind of fun.
Yeah.
But also, it's a wish of, like, I want to actively engage with Sal because I don't want that to be the only way that you and I converse in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. I think that counts for both, unless you have anything else.
No, I think that's the thing.
Rad. Sister Constance.
Hard, difficult. Stars. I love how conversational this system is. I love having conversations in character.
I know we haven't had a lot of opportunity to talk with NPCs yet. But
I imagine that
know that a lot of the
the
skills and attributes and stuff like that will are the systems themselves are also useful for that. Like even in conversation, you can make a lot or very few dice rolls at your discretion.
Wishes. It's kind of hard to make a really good wish right now because we're like just getting the ball rolling, and we're stopping at a point where it's like, oh, I just want to go. I just want to I just want to go. I guess I want to see, since this one was just kind of setting things up. I wish and hope that next time we'll see more resistance. I want to see more conflict again.
Cool.
Which I think is definitely possible for the next time.
Yeah.
I want to have that conversation with Silas. Constance will be kind of like half expecting it now.
Red. And so
yeah. Also, just another star because I thought of it. Even though I don't interact with Constance that much, I kind of like that for the most part.
It's okay if they're not totally, they're basically strangers at this point, still for the most part.
But still, I'm just looking forward to interacting with Constance more.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah. Sylvia.
All right. Sorry, I was just typing in the Just for Caroline.
Ah.
Just so I would remember, because I know I will forget.
Yes. I'll try and get this uploaded sooner rather than later, too.
Right, perfect. No rush. Stars. I really like that letter. I like the idea of the letter. I like that this is like a starting plot line coming out, and like an interesting one. Wishes. I definitely want to do more with this. It's just I'm not sure how she would start looking into it. This might be a thing that you and I are going to have to discuss a little bit outside, possibly.
Sure.
Just because I do know vampire somewhat well,
Mm-hmm.
but also I don't know exactly what Sylvia would know within vampire.
Sure. If you were ever in a conflict like that in session, right? You can like there's kind of a fun praxis or kind of not like a homebrew rule or whatever, but like when it comes to some vampire games, which is like GM, you do it. Where it's like if you're ever like, I want my character to do this, but I don't know how they would do that or like what resources they would use. You can just like say, I want Sylvia to do that. Like, I want Sylvia to investigate this. How would she do that? What avenues? Like, feel free to just ask, and I will.
It's just the
lore spout
starting.
at you.
It's the starting point for her.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most difficult.
Sure. Yeah.
Because obviously, not good.
Not good.
Like,
not,
really
in fact,
not good.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't on her turf, I'm suspecting it wasn't.
It's almost worse that it isn't.
Yeah.
Some contexts.
So, I really like that. That's definitely going to haunt her a bit.
Haha.
So,
Joke's on you, ghosts aren't real. Ghosts are very real.
Wishes. Sorry, Silas. She wants to go to your place. She really does. I think that would be such a fantastic roleplay opportunity.
I think it'd be very funny.
It would be very fun. And I love that idea.
I'm not gonna even fucking lie to you. I was like, do I have to drug Vanessa's tea to have her pass out into a sleep of death so that I can drag her to a safe location so that you don't like I was like, what do I do?
That would certainly be a good plan B beside ask her about it.
Well, and this is when I thought she didn't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I will say that's kind of where you're in a better position with Sylvia being an oldie. Unless she is actually threatened, she's not gonna start shit on someone else's home turf. So that's maybe something if we really want to talk about this in DMs at some point, I'm fine with it. But I think that could be a fantastic place to do any sort of thing.
It's a fun spot.
I think that would be really fun.
I also very quickly have like you and I are about to have a conversation.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying like we are about to. And
you mean the characters? I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll open DM.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
And you have this big old problem that needs.
Oh, don't worry. So you said something to her last night that she really didn't like.
Oh, perfect.
So yeah. I'll talk to you in DMs.
Sure.
You're gonna have a conversation.
It's just gonna be a conversation. So I'm excited for that. That
Yeah.
might also be a star. I think that could be a really fun conversation.
Yeah.
Another star. I just really like Sal. I really like
Sal
Very
is
Sal.
fun
was
character.
Good character.
I really like Sal.
Sal is so fun.
That's my daughter. Simplia loves her. That's her
Sal
actual
is
child.
so stinking cute. It's so cute listening to you two
She would
interact.
destroy all of Chicago if anything happened to Sal.
I will
Aw.
kill everyone in the place.
Literally, she'll destroy the city. Yeah, DM. Star.
Yeah.
Dialogue. Talking. Again, very high quality, just like in character role playing. Super fun. I'm glad everyone handled kind of getting their own space fairly well. Because this is definitely a game where you don't have to be together all doing the same stuff all the time. Wishes. Be willing to aggressively pursue your own agendas. Because as much as I would like to plan out all of your individual kind of routes to success for you, that would just be convenient for me if I knew exactly what you were all going to do. Just having I want to do this and pursuing that is really good. And I think kind of hand in hand with that is just feel free to ask me how or for help. If you go like, okay, I want to do this, but I don't really know how or how that would work in the setting, or maybe just how that would work mechanically, always open. Feel free to ask me both in session and out of session. Like, very much, I want to do this. Who do I talk to is probably the biggest one, because there's just a lot of unknowns as far as characters and society, where like your characters probably know vaguely, but you may not. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I really enjoy this setting. It's a lot of fun. And like this game in general. It's a lot of fun. I like the tone we've set today. Everyone have fun this evening?
Yeah.
Good.
Have a good night.
Yeah, in that case, I think we should wrap it. I'm going to hit the recording button.
Yay.